Hello dear students, welcome to online biology bridge course classes, and today I am going to explain about the microorganisms. In the previous videos I explained about the definition of cell, components of cell, what are the different types of cells, that is prokaryotic and eukaryotic, types of plant tissues and types of animal tissues. And today in this video, I am going to explain about the microbes or microorganisms. So let us move to the definition of microorganisms, or let us know what are microorganisms. Microorganisms are minute living things that individually are usually too small to be seen with unaided eye or naked eye. There are four major kinds of microbes: bacteria, fungi, protists and viruses. What are microorganisms? How to define the microorganisms? Let me do one simple correction here. So actually the question should be, what are microorganisms? So let me write that one and later I will go for the explanation. Instead of is here, what are microorganisms? Microorganism, the name itself is indicating they are very small organisms. Without help of microscope, their structure cannot be seen. That is why the name given is microorganisms. They cannot be seen with unaided eye. That means without help of microscope. Naked eye or unaided eye, both the terms are same. Without the help of microscope, these organisms cannot be observed. Hence, they are known as microorganisms. The microorganism, it can be also referred as microbe in brief or in short. Simply, instead of using the term microorganisms, we can call them microbes also. And microorganisms are of four different types, such as bacteria, fungi, protists and viruses. All these are belonging to the group of microorganisms. So here some more elaborated meaning of microorganisms. The term microorganism, it is derived from Greek language and consists of two terms: micros, which means small, and organisms, it means organism. The literal meaning of microorganism, which is derived from the Greek words, it means small organisms. To what extent they are small? The microorganisms are small, of course. Their structure cannot be seen without microscope. Some organisms are small, but some of them can be seen with the naked eye. Here, microorganisms are also small organisms, but without help of microscope, their structure cannot be studied. Then, as I told, microorganisms are simply known as microbes, and the study of microorganisms is carried out in a separate branch called microbiology. Pathology you have studied. You know about the term anatomy and histology. Anatomy means study of the internal structures. Histology means study of the tissues. Like that, microbiology, the study of only microorganisms. What is their structure, how they are reproducing, and what kind of the disease they are able to cause. All these are the specifications with reference to microorganisms which are studied in a separate branch called microbiology. Anton von Leeuwenhoek discovered the microorganisms in 1675 using microscope of his own design. Very important statement with reference to the study of microbes. For the first time in the year 1675, a biologist called Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he observed the microorganisms with the help of a microscope, and interesting point is that the microscope was designed by him only. He created a microscope using his own microscope. He observed the microorganisms in the year 1675. A microscopic organism comprises either a single cell or cell clusters or no cell at all, which is called acellular. The entire statement is very important with reference to microorganisms. A microorganism may be represented by single cell. All the bacteria are unicellular. If I take the name of disease Salmonella typhi, it is causing typhoid. Typhoid is the name of the disease, and typhoid is caused by a bacterium called Salmonella typhi. And Salmonella typhi is belonging to the group of bacteria. It is represented by single cell. Microorganism may be represented by single cell, or it may be represented by cluster of cells. Cluster means group. Group of the cells may also represent the microorganism. For example, Plasmodium vivax. What is the disease caused by Plasmodium vivax? Plasmodium vivax is causing malaria, where the cluster of cells can be observed in the body of infected person. Another important point is microorganism may be acellular. What it means? Acellular means not having a cell at all. Without cell also, the microorganisms are present. Then question arises, is it possible? Is it possible that any organism can be represented without cell? Why this question is that important? Because life is represented by organisms, and organism body is compulsorily made up of a cell. That is why cell is called basic unit of the life. Then question is, without cell, how can we call them as organism? They are acellular. Acellular means they do not contain cell. Is there any example for acellular microbe? Of course, there are examples. All the disease causing viruses, all the viruses which are present in the environment are belonging to the group of acellular organisms. Then question is, why they are called organism? When the cell is completely absent in the body, then how can it is considered as an organism? Virus, when it is present outside the body of other organism, it is non-living, it is dead. But when it enters into the body of any organism, it is able to multiply its number. It is able to cause the disease. These are the properties of organisms, so that even though the cells are absent in virus, but viruses are considered as acellular organisms. The best example now I can take the pandemic COVID-19. COVID-19 in the year 2019 it has started, but till 21 the same problem has continued. The COVID is caused by coronavirus. HIV, AIDS is caused by HIV virus. Both of them are viruses, and viruses do not contain any cell. Even though cell is absent, they are able to cause the disease. So the same definition here I have given. Acellular organisms are organisms that exist without cellular structure. Even though organism is present, but the organism body do not contain a cell, such organisms are called acellular organisms. The best example for acellular microorganism are nothing but viruses. Viruses are able to cause a number of diseases. Hepatitis B is caused by virus, AIDS is caused by virus, mumps is caused by virus. So many other diseases are caused by the virus, but all the viruses do not contain the cell. They are acellular organisms. They are acellular microscopic organisms able to cause the different types of diseases. So this is about introduction of microorganisms. Microorganisms are very small organisms. Their structure cannot be seen without the help of microscope, or they cannot be seen with the naked eye. Their structure is studied only with the help of microscope. The microorganisms are shortly or simply known as microbes. Study of the microorganisms is called microbiology. For the first time, microorganisms were discovered by Anton von Leeuwenhoek in the year 1675. With the help of his own created microscope, he observed the microorganisms. A microorganism may be unicellular one, or a microorganism may be represented by group of the cells. Even acellular organisms like viruses are also included in the category of microorganisms. Acellular means without cell in the body. If the organism does not contain any cell in its structure, they are referred as acellular. So moving to the next one. So here, where do we find the microorganisms? Microorganisms are omnipresent. Omnipresent means widespread. They are found distributed everywhere in the environment. There is no any place which can be marked without microorganisms. Everywhere we can see the distribution of microorganisms. That's what I use the term omnipresent. The microbes are present in the soil. Microbes are present in the water. Microbes are present in the air. Because of that only, contaminated air and contaminated water are able to cause many diseases in case of humans and other organisms. Microbes are present on the plants, microbes are present on the animals, even they grow on food products. If I take the name of food poisoning, when fungi grow on the food items, consumption of that kind of the food, contaminated food by human, it results in food poisoning, and food poisoning is due to the growth of fungi on food items. Even the microbes are present in the human body as well as on the surface of human body. So all these are the parts or the structures where we can see the distribution of microorganisms. Everywhere they are present, but not possible to detect or identify because of their too small structure. Even though they are present in the air, even though they are present in the soil, even though they may be present on our body parts, but their presence cannot be detected because of their smaller structure, and they can be observed only with the help of microscope. Then moving to next one. So these are the main types of microorganisms. So these are the four main types of microorganisms. Fungi are microorganisms. Of course, some of them are harmful and some of them are useful. If I take the name of yeast, Yeast is belonging to the group of fungi, and yeast is very commonly used in the production of bakery items. The softness of the bread, the puffiness of the cake and bun, the softness of bread, cake and bun is due to the yeast only. So yeast is beneficial fungi. It is used by human in the preparation of bakery items. Bacteria are also belonging to the category of microorganisms. Of course, some bacteria are very harmful and some bacteria are very useful. The very well-known example for useful bacteria, Lactobacillus. Lactobacillus converts milk into curd. Some bacteria are causing the diseases and some bacteria are very useful. Then viruses. There is no any beneficial virus. Among all the microorganisms, the fungi are beneficial, some bacteria are beneficial, but viruses are completely harmful microorganisms, and where the cell is absent in the body, and viruses are belonging to the category of acellular microorganisms. Then protozoans. Some protozoans are harmless. Simple amoeba, it is not at all causing any problem. Euglena is harmless. Paramecium is also harmless, but Entamoeba histolytica, it is also a protozoan. Plasmodium is also protozoan. Trypanosoma donovani is also protozoan. These protozoans are causing one or another kind of the disease. I hope you are familiar with the term amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery. That amoebic dysentery is caused by Entamoeba histolytica. Plasmodium vivax causes malaria. Sleeping sickness is caused by Trypanosoma. Like that, one Trypanosoma gambiase. One or another kind of the diseases are caused by some protozoans. But overall, microorganisms are belonging to these four groups: fungi, bacteria, virus and protozoans. Remember, viruses are acellular microorganisms. In their body, the cells are completely absent. Then moving to the last bit about the importance of microorganisms. To study the microorganisms, there is one separate branch called microbiology. Then question is it necessary to study about the microorganisms? Yes, it is necessary or it is essential to study about the microbes. So let us know what are the importance of microorganisms. Most populous and diverse group of organisms. The number of varieties or the types which can be observed among the microorganisms is highest. They represent diverse group of organisms. Most variety of organisms are found in the group of microorganisms. They found everywhere on the planet. There is no any restricted place. Even highest temperate and lowest temperate areas are also having the microorganisms, especially bacteria. They play a major role in recycling essential elements. Recycling of elements. I hope you know the meaning of decomposition. Breakdown of organic molecules which are present in the body of dead organism is called decomposition. Molecules or elements are recycled between biotic component and abiotic component. Biotic component means living organism, abiotic component means non-living organism. Between biotic and abiotic component, most of the elements are continuously recycled, and in the recycling of essential elements, microorganisms play important role. For example, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle, all these are element cycles where we can see the involvement of microorganisms. Source of nutrients and some carry out photosynthesis. If I take one example, that will be the best example for source of nutrient. Spirulina. It is a simple organism, microscopic organism. It is rich in protein. Spirulina is rich in protein. Anabaena and nostoc are also bacteria. They fix the atmospheric nitrogen, and some green sulfur bacteria, purple sulfur bacteria, they are able to cause the photosynthesis. Even Euglena is also able to cause the photosynthesis, even though it is an animal, because in the Euglena body the chloroplast is present, so that Euglena is able to carry out the photosynthesis. They benefit society by their production of food, beverages, antibiotics and vitamins. The very important statement or use of microorganisms. They benefit the society by their production of food. Most of the microorganisms are used in the food producing industry. Lactobacillus for the production of curd, yeast for the production of bakery items, beverages means drinks. Alcoholic beverages are produced by making use of microorganisms, and bacteria, fungi are richest source of antibiotics. Even they are used for the production of vitamins also. So all these are the benefits of microorganisms for human society. And some causes disease in plants and animals. Obviously, all the microorganisms are not helpful to the human population or human race. Most of the microorganisms are causing disease in plants and animals. So these are the importance of microorganisms. They found everywhere. They represent most diverse group of organisms. They help in recycling of the essential elements. They are the source of nutrient, and some of them are carrying the photosynthesis. They help in food production. They are used in beverage production, antibiotic production and vitamin production. Apart from that, some microorganisms are causing diseases in plants and animals. To know which one is a beneficial microbe and which are harmful microbes, it is necessary to study the branch which is dealing with the study of microorganisms, that is nothing but microbiology. Try to concentrate on the explained part. In the next video, I am going to explain in detail about viruses. Hope the explanation is clear for you.